Max Verstappen's Red Bull future is on the precipice. No, it's on the edge of a razor, and the cracks are out in the open. Things are getting out of hand. Now, the Austrian giant looks set to do something unprecedented in Formula One history. Something unthinkable. Something desperate. After her bitter departure, a move most clearly intended to placate Max, Red Bull is reportedly set to go even further, incorporating Verstappen's last name into the official name of the team. That's correct. But is it a stroke of genius, or an unmistakable sign that Red Bull is melting down from the inside out? Because let's make one thing abundantly clear, this is no rumor of meltdown. It's a headline. It all began with the theatrical departure of Adrian Newey. It snowballed after that. Newey, Wheatley, Korcher. And then finally it ended with Christian Horner's dramatic and very public departure. That was the turning point. That was the moment when Red Bull's leadership publicly stated, retaining Max was the hill they would die on. The team's Austrian owners, now majority shareholders, weren't intimidated. They acted quickly. And now, they're reportedly ready to make a move no F1 team ever has. Red Bull will let Verstappen become the title sponsor of one of their two teams, Formula One. IT reports. Think about it. The team that was originally all about energy and about defiance might soon be named after one individual, Team Verstappen. Sounds like science fiction, right? But in context, not so insane. Their sibling team has already endured a few identity shifts, from Toro Rosso to AlphaTauri to Visa Cash App RB, a commercial carousel that's turned the junior team into a moving billboard. So would Team Verstappen be that shocking? This is a broken team on the brink. And Jos Verstappen's dire prediction is rapidly proving to be true. As long as she's in charge, Red Bull will fall apart. Well, she's left. And yet, still, the chaos doesn't stop. Max's destiny is a bomb about to go off. And that's exactly why Red Bull is in a state of panic, spending anything and everything to try and make him stay. But pause and take in what this really means. If Max Verstappen is approached with naming rights to a Formula One team, it gives one seismic message to the whole paddock: the driver is larger than the team. And that's treacherous territory. Even Mercedes, with all their backing for Lewis Hamilton's Project 44, never considered renaming the team after him. Ferrari didn't for Schumacher. No F1 driver has ever been showered with such devotion. This is not devotion. It's desperation. With the 2025 championship already looking out of reach, in both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships, Red Bull seems more interested in short-term survival than long-term security. But the brutal fact remains, Max Verstappen won't be at Red Bull forever. No driver ever is. So instead of re-engineering the entire team in his image today, maybe Red Bull should be gearing up for tomorrow. What they really require now is technical leadership. The void created by Adrian Newey is vast and expanding. Pierre Wache and Enrico Balbo, Horner's previous most valued deputies, are now tasked with evolving the car. But the fissures are starting to show. The upgrades aren't being done. The dominance is fading. And while we've seen flashes of Mad Max brilliance, it's no longer enough. Even the race strategy has become questionable. And without Horner anchoring the chaos, the instability is multiplying fast. This entire saga proves one thing: Red Bull's fate is now entangled with Max Verstappen's. And they know it. They know very few drivers on the grid, if any, are able to tame the RB21 or the runaway 2026 Challenger in the offing. So they're gambling for broke. They're wagering the crown. But will it work? Because one man wielding such unchecked authority might just blow up in their faces, just as did the Horner meltdown. One Formula One team can't thrive when one man dominates the others. That is the gnawing question Red Bull is forced to ask now. Does Horner's resignation truly guarantee that Max will stay? The expectation was that with Avida selling the 2% holdings and the Austrian side in majority possession, effectively it meant Max is going to be pacified no matter what. But following their last meeting together in Sardinia, we understood that the four-time world champion by no means is secure when it comes to keeping him for Red Bull. The new proposal they have for Verstappen is not so much an indicator that they're adamant that Max will remain in the team now that her is out of their way. Recent updates revealed that Verstappen is asking for stability. And while that would be guaranteed now that Horner is out of the team principal and team CEO position, all the technical personnel are gone. So even if you do have stability within the team right now, You don't have experienced people to fix the mistakes that left the car where it is today. Only 7 points have been scored by a non-Verstappen driver in the RB21S. And with Verstappen earning 74% of Red Bull's points in 2024, I think the Austrian team does understand how important and vital it is for them to keep the four-time world champion happy. So what are the pros and cons of signing up for Mercedes? If you're Max Verstappen, then you'll probably be racing for a team that's going to rule the newly regulated era for a rookie, or at least be in fair advantage to the rest of the starting grid. It's a brand new setup, and it's a challenge in your career to prove to the entire Formula One community that you can win titles with several different teams. Also, you will be promoting your brand to a new team, and you will have plenty of new fans. Although, it would be very hard for Mercedes fans to support Verstappen after what happened in 2021. However, we have witnessed how Hamilton's move happened to Ferrari and how the entire world accepted that this is a ruthless, cruel sport. But then again, what does Verstappen stand to gain if he stays with Red Bull and is given the honor of having his name on the team, either Red Bull or Racing Bulls? Well, from a business standpoint, it's a big deal for Verstappen's family name in Formula One because he'd be able to promote a lot of his own personal businesses through this avenue. After all, he is one of the most successful drivers out there, and such a change might challenge him to continue racing well into his 30s. Something he steadfastly denied on many occasions until now, and especially now that he has become a father. But it might also give him unprecedented power in which he will have the ability to make decisions that will go against the shareholders' ethos. After all, as brilliant as Verstappen is, he is not a businessperson nor a decision-maker. He is a Formula One driver. He's brilliant at racing these engineering wonders, not making key decisions in the privacy of a room. And if there is something personal or emotional troubling him, then I don't think that he will be willing to let go until it happens in this way. There is one overwhelmingly massive question mark hanging here that is being borne by the engines as well. Red Bull, of course, are beginning the new era with their new power unit, which will be Ford-badged. Since they are going to be rookies technically like Audi, everyone's hopes are that they're going to be one of the worst of the grid. And if you've got a little idea about Jake Verstappen, you'd understand that the last thing he's ever going to do is race for any position other than P1. I know this is the dream of every driver in the world. But who possesses the willpower like Max, and who has shown the execution like four-time world champion when people had doubts about him? But if Verstappen wants to have a reply to this question, then it would be mandatory on his part to drive for Red Bull for 1 year at least in 2026. Naturally, chances of him joining teams like Mercedes might not come quite so often in the future. And due to that, Will wants to put pressure on him to make a choice very urgently. Max isn't rushing though, and being quoted as saying that he is also under contract, which runs out in 2028. But with everything hanging in the balance, will this last offer by Red Bull be enough to keep Max on their toes? With all of this in mind, what do you think of Red Bull's desperate measures to keep Verstappen on their team? And more precisely, do you think that things could go from worse to worse very soon for the Austrian team if Max were to accept being a title sponsor and bringing his own brand to the team with whom he won 4 championships? Let us know in the comment section below. And as soon as you do that, make sure you click on the video that's showing on your screen right now.